Okay, students, in our last video we have discussed we were discussing about fiber to fabric. In this chapter we have already discussed natural fiber, synthetic fiber, wool, wool from sheep, rearing of sheep, wool from other animals like Kashmira goat, Angora rabbit, llama and alpaca, camel. Up to camel we have already discussed. Today we will explain you how to produce wool. Today you can understand wool production process. Next heading is wool production. Wool production. Wool is obtained from the sheep by a long process which involves various steps. Let us study each step one by one. First step is shearing. It is the first step in the processing of wool. The fleece is peeled off in one piece. The sheep need to be protected from rain for a day before shearing. Shearing is done with a manual razor and blade or with a special clipper. It does not harm the sheep and is painless as the uppermost layer of the skin is made up of the dead cells. Okay, students, we know that in wool production process, our first step is to shearing. In shearing, we peel off the fleece of the sheep by manual razor and blade or with a special caliper. Before peeling off the sheep, we should protect the sheep by water before a day. The peeling of a fleece is not harmful because the uppermost layer of the skin of sheep made up of dead cells. Okay, here is the some information box. Now read this tidbit. In 1994, Australian scientists invented a way of removing a wool from sheep without shearing. They inject the sheep with a special hormone and then wrap them in a tight hair nets. 3 weeks later, the fleece can be peeled off. Okay, next, in the process of wool production, next heading is sorting. The sheared wool is washed thoroughly with soapy water to remove dust, dirt and the grease. This process is known as sorting. Machines are employed to do this. After the peel off a wool, next step is sorting. In sorting, we washed the wool thoroughly with soapy water. That is why it can remove the dust, dirt and grease. This process is known as storing. Machines can also be employed to do this job. Next heading is grading and sorting. In this process, any stained, damaged or inferior wool is removed. The rest of the wool is stored according to the quality of the fibers depending on their fineness, length, waviness and color. In this step, we grade the wool and remove if we find inferior quality wool or stained wool, and pick the good quality of wool one side and the damaged or inferior quality other side. After that, next step is carding. Carding, the wool fibers are passed through a series of metal teeth which straighten the fibers. Carding is a process in which metal teeth are used to straighten the fibers. Carding also removes residual dirt and other matter left in the wool. In the process of carding, residual dirt and other matters that are involved in with wool as a impurity can be removed from the wool. A carded wool to be used for woolen yarn is sent for making the yarn. After the carding, we send the wool for making yarn. Next step is making yarn. Carded wool is then twisted into a rope called sliver. The sliver is stretched and twisted into a thin yarn. This process is done by spinning machines. After carding the wool, the fiber is twisted into a rope. These ropes are called sliver, and then sliver is stretched and twisted into the thin yarn. This process can be done by using machines. Last step is weaving and finishing. The straightened fiber are spun or twisted together to make yarn. The wool yarn is then used to knit woolen fabric, sweater, etc. The quality of wool is judged on the basis of thickness, length, shine, strength and fineness of the fibers. Okay, after passing these steps, the final fabric is made. The process we can observe here. First step is shearing, second sorting, and third is grading and sorting, fourth carding, and fifth making yarns, and last one is weaving and finishing. Next heading is properties and quality of wool. Wool has various properties that has a hard wearing fiber, hence it is durable, it is comfortable as it is light and can absorb moisture. It is also a resistant and can resist dirt using the outer layer of the scales. It can also resist static charges and is also a fire resistant. That wool has many qualities, as we see here. It is comfortable and it is light and can absorb moisture, and wool can also resistant and can resist dirt using the outer layer of the scale. Okay, now come to the next heading. Next heading is the quality of wool is judged by the following factors. Number one, a good wool fiber has scales which overlap like shingles on a root. Second one is the presence of crimps makes the wool fiber bulkier than other textiles. They help us to retain heat. The finer quality of wool generally has more crimps. Third one is the diameter of wool fiber varies from 15 to 30 micrometers. And fourth, length is a measurement of the staple without stretching out the crimp. Fine wool of considerable length will be a highly sought by a product for spinning. And last point is the natural off-white raw color is highly preferred due to its ability to take on color with ease. The product can be easily dyed with natural flower dyes. Now we will study silk. What is silk? How it can be obtained from silk moth and the process of making silk. Okay student, now we will study the silk. Silk. In earlier times, a use of silk was reserved only for kings and monarchs. The Romans sold for its weight in gold. In ancient times, the use of silk is reserved for the kings and the monarchs. You can say the highly socially people can only use the silk. The Roman sold the silk weight in gold. Silk fabric was invented in ancient China and played an important role in their culture and economy for thousands of years. You know that the silk fabric was invented in China. China is credited with the first production of silk at around 3000 BC. Silk was such an important product from China that the trade route from Europe to China became popular to be known as the Silk Route. Silk is an animal fiber produced by the silkworm. Silk fibers are soft and lustrous like animal hairs. Like silk does not conduct heat, thus keeping us warm in winter. The quality of silk is to protect heat from flowing, so it can keep us warm in winter. Silk is made of proteins. The rearing and management of silkworms for obtaining the silk is called sericulture. The process of obtaining silk and the management of silkworm is called sericulture. It is essential to know about the life cycle of silkworm in order to understand the process of making silk fiber. Okay, we can understand the life cycle of silk moth, silkworm. Here, this is the life cycle of silk moth. This is the pictorial representation. Here you can see silk moth adult, and here is eggs, and here larva, and then pupa, and then silk moth and adult silkworm. Okay, life cycle of silk moth. The life cycle of a silk moth consists of 4 stages, which are the adult, the egg, the larva, and the pupa stage. These 4 stages complete the life cycle of silk moth. The female moth copulates with the male moth, and then a fertilization takes place. The eggs are laid close together and are covered in a jelly that the mother moth produces. A jelly-like substance produces mother moth, and eggs covered by these jelly-like substance. The eggs will begin to hatch after 10 days, and the newly born silkworm feeds on mulberry leaves. It takes 10 days time to hatch the eggs, and newly born silkworm appears and feeds on only mulberry leaves. The next stage is the pupa, and at this stage the cocoon begins forming to allow the silk moth to transform into an adult moth. In this stage, a cocoon begins forming to allow the silk moth to transform into an adult moth. It prepares itself for the next stage in its life cycle. Next heading is silk production. Under this heading, we will understand how to produce silk. Okay, now we read and try to understand. The first stage of making silk is called the sericulture. The first stage of making silk is called a sericulture. You can say that the process of making a silk starts from sericulture, which is the cultivation of silkworm. It is a very complex and lengthy process. The first step involves washing the silkworm eggs that had been stored over the winter. Under natural conditions, the eggs hatched only once a year in spring, when the mulberry trees begin to leaf. It starts from spring, when mulberry trees begins to leaf, and it is the first step involves washing the silkworm that has been stored over the winter. Under natural conditions, the eggs hatched only once in a year. When larvae silkworms hatch out of the eggs, they feed on mulberry leaves. They eat day and night and increases enormously in size. When after hatching the eggs, larvae feed on mulberry leaves. They eat day and night, whole day and whole night, and increase in size enormously. Small rakes or twigs may be provided in the tray, to which cocoons get attached. After 25 to 30 days, the silkworms stop eating and move to tiny chambers of bamboo in the tray to spin cocoons. Spinning may take about a week, after which the cocoons have to be unraveled. Then the cocoons are collected and put into a very hot water, passed through hot air, or exposed to the scorching heat of the sun. This kills the silkworm and loosens the silk filaments. The silk filaments are then from the cocoons. This process is called reeling or filature. It is done by special machines. Filament from several cocoons are twisted together to make a strong thread that is wound on a reel. The thread are then dyed and woven into silk fabric. There are different types of silk which differ in quality and texture. Silk is produced by different kinds of moths. The most common type are Aari, mulberry, tasser, munga, and kosa silk. This is the whole process how we obtain silk from silk moth. Okay.